Arsenal go to Old Trafford and get the 3 points, baby. I'll explain exactly why this result could be absolutely massive come the end of the season. But first, Marky Mark, you happy for us, yeah?
If I was an Arsenal fan, I don't know if I'd be happy. I don't know if I'd be upset. I don't know. I mean, look, you got the 3 points. And what you just said in the intro right there is that could be massive. And you know what? 100% I agree. I mean, the titles nowadays, especially over the last few seasons, just by 1 or 2 points, or even on the same points in goal difference. So those 3 points are huge, no matter what you say. Would I be happy as an Arsenal fan? Let me ask you. Are you happy with Arsenal's performance, especially going into the rest of the season? And then I'll give my 2 takes on it.
Here's my take on it, Mark. The first game of the season for me is never about performance. It's always about result. I actually don't read into performances too much. And having said that, Mark, not really fair, is it? Because we've all had a pre-season and some teams look better than others in the first game of the season. So we will come on to that because as a performance, that was shocking. I'm going to come out and say it was shocking. But to come out with the win after a shocking performance like that is also quite pleasing. So, because I'm telling you, Mark, we go to another ground. I can't remember playing that bad, going somewhere and actually coming away with 3 points at a big ground, at a big club. Do you know what I mean? So
that's the
let's
kicker,
see. We'll come on to that. And I will explain exactly, you touched upon it there, why this could be massive at the end of the season. I'm going to make a couple of points on that. So guys, stay tuned for that. You want to tune in, especially if you're a Chelsea fan, especially if you're a Liverpool fan, and especially if you're a Man City fan and just a football fan in general. Right, Mark, I'm excited, man. I'm excited because we got the 3 points. Right, you can probably tell. Let's go through the key talking points of the game. And there's only one place for us to start. The goalkeepers. Talk to me about Bayındır, the keeper that came in Onana's absence. Firstly, my first question to you, Mark, how much blame are you giving the keeper for that goal?
All the blame. All the blame. Right? Look, I guess I don't want to say all the blame. Like, is that his first competitive game in the Premier League? Because if it is, that is a massive eye-opener. He got absolutely bullied in that box when Rice delivered that free kick, right? You should have been stronger. He should have been stronger. He should have just punched it out of the way or moved it out of the way or, tensed up your core and be strong, be sturdy and go after the ball. Yeah, because it's his fault. It's his fault. I mean, yes, Rice, he delivered it. He always delivers it pretty much pinpoint every single time in that very dangerous area around the 6-yard box. Yeah. And obviously, Arsenal have these big monsters in their team. And you have to prepare for that. You have to do your research. How do Arsenal get goals most of the time last season? It's through set pieces. How do they do that? They swarm the penalty box. So, also the other team, who is it? Manchester United, you need to prep your keeper. Or if he's too weak, put Onana back in. What do you think about what I just said first?
Well, just on that last bit, I think Onana wasn't available, was he, for whatever reason? But I totally agree. Listen, they just got bullied. They got bullied in that box, man for man, not just the keeper. They got bullied. But this is what Arsenal do, right? This isn't new. Guys, this is what we do. We deliver it on a sixpence from both sides, Rice on one side, Saka on the other, and we get bodies in the box. We've got massive goal threats. Calafiori just happened to be in the right place at the right time. He's another goal threat, another monster. Look, Roy Keane came out and said, listen, if you can't handle a bit of rough and tumble, this is a physical sport, go play chess.
Spot on.
100% the blame is on the keeper here. And I'll tell you why. He flaps at it and then claims he was fouled. Not in a million years is he ever going to get that. What is our job? We're going to put it on you. It's our corner. We are going to put it on you. And take, for example, what happened a few minutes later. Bruno has a corner, similar delivery, if not exactly the same as Declan Rice. And in fact, this is in the second half, I think, because Sesko's on the pitch as well. And they're trying to manhandle Arsenal, but guess what? It doesn't work. And what does Raya do? Even though they're putting Raya under pressure, more pressure, actually, than what Bayındır was under from Saliba, and he punches it clear out of the box, Mark. He doesn't just get a hand to it and it lands somewhere in the box. He smacks it into space. So that is my point. Bayındır, you're absolutely right, is 100% to blame for that, because what do you want as a footballer? Listen, we've both played 11-a-side when we were younger, right? And we're not great players. But the point being is, and even 7-a-side, right? But when it's 11-a-side, one of the things that happens when you're under the pump is you want, in your own box, your keeper to come and claim stuff, right? That keeper's got to come and claim the ball. That's his job. That's his area. I'm sure if people just started coming into his house and just, helping themselves to sandwiches from his fridge, he'd be like, get out. What's he going to do? Flap at them? Taking some Dairy Lee Dunkers out of his fridge. He'd just flap at them. Mate, he was flapping around like a ballerina. Listen, he is absolutely 100% to blame, and David Raya showed him exactly why.
There's a bit of context, though. There's a little bit of context. Look, it looks like I've never heard of the guy, right? He looks young. It could be his first ever game at the Premier League. It's the first opening game of the season against a title challenger, right? These sort of things that you need to take into context. No doubt it's his fault, that, as I said from the get-go, but he is young, he is inexperienced. It might be his first time in the Premier League. It might have shaken his confidence, and maybe it's up to the manager and the rest of his teammates to go, don't worry about it. Well, don't worry about it. It's improve. Learn from your mistakes. This is the Premier League. You have to be strong. You're taking on people like Saliba, like Konate, like Calafiori. They are giants in this game. And you have to prep for that. It could be a good thing in disguise, just a massive experience, a learning curve for him. You never know. He may take that upon him and just be like, right, I need to work on this. If I want to take the spot of being the number one keeper at Manchester United, I need to train. I need to understand how the Premier League works. But yes, at the end of the day, it is his fault.
Couldn't agree more. Bayındır, if you're listening, my friend, no room in the Premier League for flipper flappers. Right, on to the next point. Mark, we have to talk about it. Did Arsenal sit on their 1-0 win, or were they super rusty? Or is there a different answer? Were they just rubbish?
What I saw, Geezer, was pretty much everything. What I saw was the same thing, the same problem, the same energy, the same intensity, the same boring, predictable Arsenal as I've seen over the last year, over the last couple of years. I do not see that much of a change, right? If you perform like that, like you have been doing for the last couple of years, you're not even going to finish second. You're going to finish third. You're going to finish fourth because you're too predictable. Teams should be learning how to maneuver Arsenal. You just need to be at them for at least for the first part of the game, the first 20, 30 minutes, because that is when Arsenal usually perform best. They're only disrupted when there's like a goal, either for Arsenal or even for the other team. When that happens, they drop off, they sit back. There's no plan B. It's the same boring Arsenal. You got Gyökeres, who we're going to touch on, who did nothing, by the way. This is my opinion. I would be worried as a Arsenal fan. I would be. And I haven't seen the reactions from AFTV and all the other Arsenal fans and all the other, YouTubers. But I will check it later on today, and I would not be surprised if they're going to be concerned. Are you concerned, Neil? Arsenal's your team. I would
be massively, massively worried if this was the 10th game of the season or the 12th game of the season. And during the game, I was worried. I was worried that we weren't going to escape, because let's face it, that's what we did, escape with the 3 points, even though we were defensively very solid. Now that can be counted upon. But what I said at the start still rings true for me. The first game of the season is all about getting the result, not necessarily the performance. I think we were super rusty. And in the second half, I'll go as far as saying we showed no intent. That actually was more of a worry than the actual performance part of it. Because the performance part of it, okay, it's the first game of the season. Declan Rice was battered. It's like he'd been out on the town the night before, right? So it's an interesting one, and a lot of our players gave 3, 4, 5 out of 10 performances. Declan Rice is not going to be.
They don't look fit.
Exactly. Declan Rice ain't going to be doing that again. Saka was absolutely useless, and I'll tell you why Saka was useless is that Odegaard was also so rusty and so poor. How many times he gave the ball away and was just ineffective, was covered off by the fact that he covered every damn blade of grass. But the other thing I'll give Odegaard a bailout on is that when he did have the ball, Martinelli and later Madueke and Madueke and Saka, both of them, both flanks, whenever Odegaard had the ball, they were just jogging, ambling in straight lines like they're going down for a jog by the river. There was no movement. We were so rusty. So listen, we will not make that many mistakes in the game when we're in possession. It was genuinely like watching me or you trying to kick a ball about at times. It was so bad. Like some of it, now don't get me wrong, the intent bit for me is bad because the second half, we had 4 shots. 2 of them came in the last 2 minutes when United were pushing everything forward. So really, we had 2 shots. We showed no intent. We showed no willingness to go out and get the second goal and win the game. We just basically were like, we've got our 1-0 and we're going to cover that. And that actually, as an Arsenal fan, should be your more of a concern rather than judging the performance on the first game. I think there were some big teams that were poor in the first game of the season that won't be that poor this season, I think, us included.
Fair.
But let's go on to Gyökeres. Yeah, you mentioned him. I'll go first. Gyökeres yesterday had 3 touches in the opposition box. That can tell you a bit about Gyökeres. That can also tell you about what his team were doing around him. We were lumping balls up to him, which not how he likes it, up in the air. It's not Sesko. He likes it to feet. He likes it in behind. He likes to run off his man, right? Now, again, he didn't have a full pre-season with us, so I'm going to give him a bit of leeway here. He did look a bit sluggish. He put himself about a bit. I remember one shoulder barge he did on the lit and just left him on the deck. Outside of that, the lit actually had him in his pocket all game.
He did.
But that, for me, was more, there's more accountability than 50% on Odegaard and Saka and the players around, and Declan Rice and Zubimendi, than Gyökeres, in my opinion. He had 3 touches in the opposition box for a reason, 0 supply. We did not adapt to his style of play. I don't think he could have had a good debut based on that. The team around him were whack.
Yep, totally agree. The thing is, look, as I said, I like to look at the whole picture. This guy's been there like 2 minutes, right? He's been there 2 minutes. He's had 2 pre-seasons. The first appearance in his pre-season, he did nothing. I even think in the last pre-season game, he really didn't do much. He scored the goal with his head. It was a good goal. But he still needs a bit of time, bro, to adapt to there's a lot of things he needs to adapt to. Gyökeres needs to adapt to the Premier League. He needs to adapt to Mikel Arteta's instructions. And also the team around him need to adapt to get the best out of Gyökeres. It's a work in progress, right? You're not going to get it on the first game, especially against a much improved Manchester United team. We're going to touch on in a bit as well.
We're coming on to them.
We're going to come on to that. So I don't, it'd be nice for me to come here and go, Gyökeres is dead. Gyökeres is rubbish. You bought yourself a failure. That'd be stupid of me, right? You have to give the guy...
You are stupid, though, Mark.
Yeah, all right. Shut your mouth, you clown. You support Arsenal. You're born stupid. Right. I'm either going to say to him, even if he doesn't do well this season, it's not the best time to judge someone. I don't think... The only competitive, real high-level games he has actually played is not in Sporting, it's not in Coventry in the Championship, it's only a minute amount in the Champions League. So he does have a little bit of experience, smashing up Man City, right? Smashing up and scoring goals against other Champions League teams. So he can handle it against big boy teams. You need to give him a little bit of time. This will be my advice. I'm sure... I'll be disappointed if I see AFTV or other Arsenal supporters who will go, Gyökeres is dead. We bought a failure and all this sort. No, If there are fans like that, yeah, you know nothing. You don't even know how the Premier League works. So I'm not going to condemn Gyökeres like that. It was quiet, three touches in the opposition box. That doesn't really mean much. I agree with you. It's the first game of the season. You got the 3 points, and all I can do is congratulate you. But the worrying thing is nothing has changed with Arsenal over the last couple of seasons. I think that's so worrying. Even with Zubimendi, even with Gyökeres, this still remains to be seen. We'll see how the rest of the season, the rest of the Arsenal games unfold. That's my opinion on it.
Fair, Mark. Not used to being used to you being so fair, but fair play to you.
Shut up.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. You should become a pundit. No, you're actually spot on. I fully agree with you. And listen, it will be a concern if we're going to go in with the mentality of getting a goal and sitting on it. And also, if we continue playing like that for the rest of the season, forget second. Forget fourth. It'll be fight for top 5, honestly. We were that bad, Mark. We were that bad. I genuinely believe we were that bad. But like I said, again, let's see how it progresses over the next couple of games. And we've got some big games coming up, so we don't have time. But let's talk about Man United, Mark. They, to me, look
before we do this, I'm so sorry. Hold on. Before we get into Man United, I want to hear something from you. Tell me that Odegaard is trash. I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you say it.
I'm not going to.
I want to hear you say it. Say it, bro. Do the right thing. Do the right thing.
Do you think?
He's so average. He's so overrated.
Do you think Saka was trash? Do you think Saka's trash?
I do not think Saka is trash because last season, every season since...
Who had the better game yesterday?
Forget the one game, bro. You look at the whole picture last year. He was terrible.
One game, how can I say Odegaard is trash? You just asked me to judge it on this one game.
He's still so... Bro, he is so ineffective. He looks okay on the ball. Right? He does his little turns and he might make 1 or 2 sideways passes, bro. But for me, you need to consider removing him and doing a change. You need to drop him, bro. After the next 10 games, yeah, if he does no assists, he doesn't do anything impactful.
10 games, bro. I would have to agree. Yeah, that's
come on, geezer. Yeah. It's been the whole season last season and he's carried on that dead form again. Right? I'm not a fan of Odegaard. I'm just not a fan of it. I think he's not good enough to play for.
You used to be, right?
I don't know. I did.
Yeah,
and
I know. It's a bit of a worry. It is a bit of a worry, Mark. It is a bit of a worry because yesterday he was... You know, if I was to give him a 5.5 or a 6 out of 10, it will only be because of the work he did off the ball. And his job is to be effective when he's on the ball.
That's it.
That was a rust bucket of a performance. Genuinely, Arsenal fans, I want to hear from you. Like, we both want to hear from you. Let us know what you think. And are you worried, like Mark says we should be? Because let's spade a spade, yeah? It was the first game of the season, but we've seen other teams really rock up first game of the season. Are we just pacing ourselves? Were we just rusty? Or was Odegaard the conductor of absolute trash yesterday? I actually want to hear about it because I have to agree with you. Odegaard was terrible. I'm not going to say he is terrible, though. He obviously made up for it in terms of covering every single blade of grass. And that's the only thing he could do was to run, right? And Arteta pointed out afterwards, he's like, the team were bad, but he's like, how they responded to how bad they were playing.
That's
they
not
made
his
sure
role, though.
They were positive. Exactly. His role is to be effective on the ball.
It's good that he's doing that, but your main job is...
Dude, that's the absolute minimum. When you play that bad... That is the absolute minimum requirement. And I expect everyone to be doing that. And by the way, everyone was that bad going forward.
Martinelli,
you know what, Mark?
God.
Let me give you my team ratings, dude. David Raya, man of the match. For me, he made the key saves at the right time and he commanded his box properly. Outside of kicking the ball out of play for no reason, he was pretty much solid as a rock, followed by Gabriel and Saliba. I think Calafiori was suspect defensively. I think Ben White looked tired and he was struggling. And we looked better when Timber came on. So I think Timber was excellent when he came on, actually, dude. He really hit the ground running when he came on. Now, outside of that, Zubimendi, okay at times and poor at large parts of times. Declan Rice, completely ineffective, looked sluggish,
Tired.
looked like
Yeah.
he'd had 8 pints the night before.
Love it.
Odegaard, useless. Honestly, going forward was terrible yesterday. Again, I'm caveating this. First game of the season. I'm not as bothered, but spade a spade. It's still a football game. We still have to analyse how they did. Saka was shocking. He was so bad. He was so bad, Mark. His movement off the ball was so bad. And when he got the ball, wow, you can tell it's the first game of the season that this guy needs to get up to speed. But I tell you what, boys, you don't have long, because in 2 games' time, we go to Anfield, yeah? Martinelli was the same. I'm worried about Martinelli. Yes, first game of the season, but Martinelli is a genuine worry. Madueke came on and was like a headless chicken at times, but he still got in the box. He still had his chance at the end of the game, right? I can't judge Madueke based on 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. Yeah, 30 minutes, I think. Kai Havertz came on, arguably did more than Gyökeres, but again, you can lump the ball up to Kai Havertz and he will bring it down. Different type of player to Gyökeres. Again, ineffective, absolutely. As a whole, Mark, we're probably averaging 3 or 4 out of 10 as a whole. It's the defence, Timber, Saliba, the usual suspects, Gabriel and David Raya, that had games at 6, 7. Fair?
They're the ones that kept you in the game. Like Martinelli, bro.
They're the ones that won us the game.
They're the ones that literally Calafiori won it for you guys.
Exactly.
It's so worrying for Arsenal, yeah, because again, you're struggling to make chances. Again, you've done nothing really in open play. And again, you've got another goal. The goal is only from set pieces. Again, where's the open play? You need to improve. You don't want to be continuously known as the set piece team, right? Because that is it's a great strength that you have. But where's the other open play games? Where's the creativeness? Where's the through balls? Hopefully it should, bro. Yeah, hopefully.
Otherwise, we're both going to be sat here in half a season's time saying Gyökeres, if he keeps on if that's the output, 3 touches a game in the box, no shots, then obviously you and I are going to be saying a different thing, right? So you're absolutely right. But I am still positive because, like I said, going to Old Trafford and getting the 3 points, not easy, especially as, Mark, we have to talk about them.
Yeah.
Man United, new look, Amorim set them up. And I have to say, Mark, Cunha and Mbeumo, tell me, Mark, firstly, how good were United? And secondly, how good were Cunha and Mbeumo? For how bad we were, how good were Cunha and Mbeumo, those two?
Manchester United were good, much improved. Not great, in my opinion, right? But much, much improved. In terms of Cunha and Mbeumo, extremely impressive and a massive, massive improvement and an upgrade on their current forwards. It's going to be exciting. And of course, they've all been signed. It's like a brand new front line with the exception of Bruno Fernandes. It's going to imagine how good they could be once they start playing more together, once they start understanding each other a little bit better, once they start becoming a little bit more cohesive. What will happen when they develop telepathic communications and they know how to expect what to expect from each other? It's going to be exciting to see Manchester United. And then it's going to be exciting to see how Amorim manages all of them, right? Because, he's come into Manchester United halfway through the season and he made them worse. Like, this is the end of it. I mean, finishing at 15th or 16th is absolutely unacceptable for a team of Manchester United stature. Right? It is unacceptable. He's been given the green light. They've gone, bro, they don't have the money to purchase all these players, right? So they basically put them on tick. They put them on a credit card. If they don't perform and get money and get results in, you can imagine that club, I don't speak French, but that club could be right? Because that is what they're counting on. They've put all their players, these new signings, on a credit card. They need to perform. It's going to be interesting to see how they perform, how they gel, and how Amorim plans to get the best out of them. But overall, good performance, exciting new front line, and they're only going to get better. Your thoughts?
They came out of the blocks. I agree with everything that you just said there. Honestly, they came out of the blocks. But those two in particular, I mean, if we hadn't got away with the 3 points last night, it was got away, not gone away. It was, we did escape with 3 points. Calafiori won't be getting any sleep. Mbeumo is he was running rings around Calafiori. He was causing us so many problems down that flank. Martinelli had to come back and track back, and even then, Mbeumo was absolutely electric in that first half. Cunha was fantastic. Ben White needed a holiday after that. It was genuinely, and the rest of us, honestly, they were so good. Honestly, sometimes, when you go on holiday and you come back and you just like a couple of days of work and I need another holiday. That's what Ben White feels like right now. Cunha just driving through the middle, just brushing off Declan Rice like he's a nobody. Declan Rice, he's just brushing him off. Honestly, he was terrorising us, especially first half. Saliba and Gabriel had a very solid second half, but first half, they were ragged. They're doing that first game of the season to the best centre-back pairing in the Premier League, in my opinion. What are they going to do to other teams, Mark? What are they going to do, like you said, when they click, when they start getting more telepathic, when they learn about each other? Yes, okay, we saw a lack of cutting edge from United yesterday, which is the only reason why I'm saying they didn't deserve to win the game, because for all the chances you create, you have to create cutting edge, and they didn't create enough chances to really win the game for me. But they were excellent, exceptional. Cunha and Mbeumo are going to cause so many problems for everyone else in the league. Listen, teams, you cannot go to Man United or play Man United the same way you played them last season. If you do, you're in for a rude awakening. Bruno will get up to speed. I don't think he was fantastic yesterday, but I think it was decent enough. But for me, it was all about Cunha and Mbeumo, which leads me to the next point, Mark. How do you think the other top teams are going to fare at Old Trafford this season?
It's too early to say. I mean, you take a team like Manchester City, who we're going to touch on in one of our upcoming pods. Like, they'll go there and actually demolish them. Look, it's still a work in progress for Manchester United. They came out of the blocks. They played really exciting. They put energy. They put a foot in. But other teams need to be aware of them, especially as they play a little bit more together. As you say, they get a little bit more telepathic. You need to be wary. You need to be wary going to Old Trafford. Like, they can turn most teams over. It's still too early to say how they're really going to do. The first game, it feels like, they were the relegated team. They've come up with this new league, new promotion bounce. That's kind of how they played, but we need to see it on a more consistent basis. We also need to see how they're going to gel more together, if they actually are going to improve. Is that improved performance going to be continued? Is it going to be consistent? Because that's also a problem with Manchester United in the past. But they do have these new players. It does look much better. I mean, Højlund. Who are you going to have, Sesko or Højlund? No, get rid of that. The other teams on the sides, who you got? Marcus Rashford, bro. You got Mbeumo, right? Massive improvement. Let's see what happens. Let's not. I can imagine Man U fans getting all excited and giddy. Oh my god, and this and that. Even though we lost, we see them, and they have a right to feel excited. But be careful. This is what I would say. It's the first game of the season. What do you think? How do you think other teams are going to come to Old Trafford and approach it?
It is the first game of the season. So again, it's very difficult to say, but they are a completely new look. And I think they're going to catch some people off guard. Let me put it this way, dude. I've come away from that game and I am just so glad we don't have to go there again this season. And we've got the 3 points. And I'll tell you what, man, I'll make a bold prediction right now. And I'm saying that, based on one game of the season. I appreciate I'm contradicting myself a little bit here. But because they look so electric and we are very defensively, defensively, we performed well yesterday. Offensively, we were poor, yes, but defensively, we were sound. And we're a very, very good unit with the best defense in the league, right? Best defense in the league. So for me, my prediction is Liverpool, City and Chelsea will all go there and not all of them will come away with the 3 points. I can see some dropped points there amongst the rest of the top four, which is why I said at the start, getting the 3 points could be absolutely massive. Because if you ask me to bet my house on Liverpool, City and Chelsea going there and getting 3 points this season, I'll tell you what, dude, I'll take the opposite bet there are going to be some dropped points over there, and I could be wrong. Guys, let me know in the comments if you think I'm absolutely barking mad. And equally, let me know if you think I'm right. I mean, I am right, but let's see. Genuinely believe this is going to be a horrible place to go again compared to last season. Old Trafford for us is an absolute nightmare, by the way, but that's why I'm extra ecstatic that we've got the 3 points. Now, Mark, before we wrap up, we've gone through the game. The game itself, United were the better team. They created the more chances, created the more shots, had the most shots. And second half, we only had 4 shots, 2 of which came in the last 5 minutes. So we weren't really showing any intent. You know, United were trying to show intent, but they had a bit of lack of cutting edge, which will come as they gel, as you said. I want to talk quickly about Arteta's record at Old Trafford. We've just gone there and won, right? And I told you before this in the last pod, we've had, I think up until that point, 5 Premier League wins at Old Trafford out of 32 games or 33 games, whatever else. Arteta's record at Old Trafford now, he has gone there. Do you know how many times he's won at Old Trafford?
No, 3.
Correct. He's got half the number of total Arsenal wins in the whole of the Premier League era. For context, Jose Mourinho, albeit in his first stint at Chelsea, was there when Fergie was there. His second stint at Chelsea was post-Fergie, and then he also went there as Spurs. Jose has only managed 2 wins at Old Trafford in the whole time he's been in the Premier League. Only 1 as a Chelsea manager, which I thought was mad. I'm not putting Arteta in the same bracket as Jose, by the way, and all these guys, but I just found it interesting. Do you know how many wins Jurgen Klopp has? The great Jurgen Klopp at Old Trafford. Bearing in mind, he was
4.
at Liverpool for 8 seasons.
4.
2. 2 wins. Or 9 seasons he was at Liverpool for. And he's gone to Old Trafford 9 times in the Premier League, won twice. Arteta has the second best record of any manager going to Old Trafford in the Premier League, behind obviously Pep, who's gone there and won 5 times in the Premier League era. What I am saying is that for all of Arteta's, you know, people dig at Arteta and whatever else, and United being, you know, a tough place for us to go, he's gone there and masterminded 3 wins, and we've done it all to clean sheets. We haven't conceded in any of those wins. And I do think we got to give him credit for that, because going to Old Trafford and winning for us, yeah, I do think we have to, because we weren't winning any big games when he wasn't at us. He's now made sure that we can actually compete away from home and get big wins at grounds that we struggle with. We said it. Old Trafford for us is a bogey ground. Well, he's got 3 wins in 5 years there, which I think is super impressive. Whether United have been good or not, even the mighty Jurgen Klopp couldn't do it. So there's a bit of credit for me going to get the win over there. I predicted a 2-1 win. Got the 1-0 win. I'm happy with that, performance-wise, and I think he should get a pat on the back. What do you think?
I don't know, geezer. Look, you got there. You got the 3 points. Sorry, you got the 3 points. That is fantastic, and he's added another notch onto his cock. And that's fine, right? But the problem is, the problem is, I think that it is a small pat on the back, bro, because for me, it's not a completely irrelevant stat. I think the most important thing is how Arsenal are still playing. There's still no creativity. You didn't even deserve to win, did you? It should have been a draw. Correct me. Do you think that well and truly that you should have got the 3 points? You got the 3 points. Congratulations. Well done. But did you deserve it? Well, if you carry on playing like that, and this is Arteta's methods, Arteta's instructions, Arteta's tactical prowess, I don't think it's good enough, bro. I have been saying it. You got lucky. They had a Manchester United brand new keeper. It was his fault. Without that, if you had David Raya in the Manchester United goal, it should have been 0-0. Agree or not?
Agreed. Listen, we play like that again. The exact same performance away from home. We come away with 0 points. So the fact that we came away with 3. Yeah, maximum 1 point. The fact that we came away with 3 was a great robbery. again, I will caveat that to what I said earlier in the pod. I do think we looked very rusty, even in possession when there were simple passes. Mark, there were passes 2-3 yards. You're not gonna see that happen throughout the whole season. If we do, then we might even get that kind of performance. Is a 3-4 out of 10 max from most of those players. It was so bad, but that's so bad. I wouldn't put that all on Arteta, because if Odegaard can't play a 3-yard pass when we're in possession, we're going 3-on-3. If Saka can't stand his man up, if Saka has a poor first touch, like from a ball that's travelling to him at 10 miles an hour, then it's rusty as hell. If Martinelli, let's not go there. Let's not go Martinelli. Right, agreed with you. Before we wrap up, Mark, and I'll kick it over to you. Preview next game: Arsenal at home to Leeds. What do you think the result will be?
Okay, so we're doing a prediction. Leeds.
Correct.
What happened? What did they win? No,
tonight. They're playing tonight. We're recording this
Monday night. Yeah. No. Even with everything that I've said, Arsenal are at home. They have their supporters back. They have a better team than Leeds. It won't be like the first game of the season. It's Leeds' first game of the season in regards to that new promotion bounce. If Arsenal do not win and take the 3 points at home against a newly promoted team, you're gonna have to really be worried. Oh my days. Because as I said, the game yesterday against Manchester United, I think you were lucky, bro. You had lucky that they had a keeper that was just a brand new, had no experience, and it was easily toppled. You need to improve overall. You should be going there and smashing them. And my prediction is going to be 2-0. And I'm looking for Gyökeres to score a goal. Yes, he's just come to the club, but he also needs it for his confidence. Saka, if there's a penalty, allow it. We know you can take it. You can still be the main penalty taker. Give it to Gyökeres. Give him his little bit of a confidence. It will make all the difference. I should be manager of Arsenal, not that clown Arteta. I wonder if he's going to get
relegated, mate.
Right. Shut your mouth, mate. You probably win the freaking Champions League, the Triple League, everything.
Right. Okay, so you're going 2-0 Arsenal. I'll go a step further. I'll go even bolder, right? And just say, listen, it's not just a must-win. It is a must-win by minimum 2 goals, but really we should be putting 3-4 past them. I know it's only the second game of the season, Mark. I 100% agree with you. Gyökeres we need to make sure we adapt and give Gyökeres every chance to get off the mark, up and running this season against Leeds at home at the Emirates. If we do not win this game, minimum 2-0, but really 3-0, 4-0, we should be massively worried, second game of the season or not, because I am now looking for us against the lesser sides at the Emirates for us to now start getting going, because we need to build momentum ahead of the third game, which we know is away at Anfield, and that is super important. Scraping another 1-0 win at home against Leeds, second game of the season or not, because it's still the second game of the season for them as well, right? It's the second game of the season for everyone.
You don't want to do. I want to see open goals, bro. I want to see open goals. Like,
so do I.
That.
I agree with you. Listen, if we win this, another set piece, corner, and we win it 1-0, we are in trouble, because then I will agree, guys, we need to worry a little bit, because how long are we going to wait until it clicks? Like, if it's not going to click at home against a newly promoted side, second game or not, then when is it going to click? Because it ain't going to click at Anfield away. I guarantee you that. Right, guys, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about our predictions. Let us know if you think we're talking sense. Mark, land the plane, my guy.
If you're here to the end, guys, we definitely appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed already, then definitely subscribe. And if you can like the video, it helps us reach more people. And if you want to see our top performing video where Neil and I go head to head and have an absolute blowout, okay, it's been getting a lot of traction. It's been shown to a lot of people. Click that argument video right here and tell us what you think. We definitely know we're going to have people with many different opinions about our arguments. It's right here, and we see you lot in there. Nice, guys.